Hello, beautiful creative people. This is Kyla Givehand coming to you from Giving Hands Creative, and today is March 31st, 2014, and it is 6:02 p.m. And in true Kyla Givehand style, I am just on the last day of the month, probably at the very last moment, 6 o'clock in the evening, starting Book in a Day number 3 for 2014. But I have a legitimate reason. I spent the day with my dear friend Jody Author, who is also a poet and a book artist, and she was visiting from Hawaii. Hi, Jody. And it was so amazing and wonderful to spend the day with her talking about literature and poetry and book art and residencies and Hawaii and just everything. We had an amazing day. It was great. And she's coming from Hawaii, right? Wonderful, beautiful, paradise, tropical weather. And then it rained today here in Oakland. So, but spending the day with her was awesome and great. And so it made the rain seem like it was nothing. So, thank you, Jody, for the wonderful day. But in our conversation, we also talked a lot about life, right? And we talked about the Book in a Day project, a challenge that I gave myself last year. And I was explaining to her why I did that. And we talked a lot about just what other things I do in terms of working with people as a creativity coach. And so I was expressing to her that the reason I did the 2013 Book in a Day was because I want my clients, the people that I work with, to see how you can establish a creative practice. The importance of establishing a creative practice, what that can do for you in your life in terms of trying to empower you. So I'm a creativity coach who specializes in empowerment and accountability. So I work with people like writers, artists, teachers sometimes, a lot of the times, creative entrepreneurs, couples, people who are trying to empower themselves through some creative means or some creative expression of themselves. And in doing that, I often end up working with people who are in transitional phases in their life. Women who are newly divorced, or women who have decided, this is no longer the career for me. I've been doing it for 15, 20 years, and I want something different. I need to change my life. And I feel this creativity trying to burst out of me. What do I do? How do I make it happen? So I work with folks that are in that sort of transitional phase. I also work with people who are working on a project, and they have one specific project, and they need some accountability. They need some empowerment behind it. And they're just looking for someone that can kind of help them hone in on what I like to call their hidden potential. So I do a bunch of different things, but I also am a book artist, and I love making books. So Jody and I were talking today, and I was like, the one thing, if I didn't learn anything else from Book in a Day 2013, the one thing I did learn is I love making blank books. I love making blank books. And first of all, I have so many blank books in my house, it's ridiculous. I need to start giving some of them away, gifting them to people. But I'm a little bit of a hoarder when it comes to blank books. And I know some of you right now are raising your hand. You're like, me too, Kyla. So hello to all the hoarders of blank books. We're waiting to fill them with our ideas and all of our wonderful creativity. That's our plan, right? That's why we collect them. Or we just like to look at blank, beautiful blank books. Either way. So I'm probably going to be making a blank book today, because why deny myself something that I love? That's what I love doing. But I get in front of this camera to make these books this year every month, but last year once a week, and I would be struggling with what kind of content am I going to put in this book? What am I going to do with it? And that would kind of freak me out. And sometimes it would almost hinder me, which is why I would be starting late in the day, because I couldn't think of what content. Because a lot of times the content will drive the structure of a book. So, all of that aside, I think I'm going to make a blank book today. I'm going to honor the fact that that was one of the lessons, one of the things I learned through my 2013 journey, is that I adore making blank books. I love doing that. So I'm not going to deny myself that this month, for the month of March. I'm going to make a blank book today. I have no idea what structure it's going to be, but I suspect it's going to be something simple. And my whole goal this year is to make 12 books that are completely, not any of them will be the structures that I did in 2013. So That's a challenge as well, right? I did 52 different structures in 2013. Now I got to come up with another 12. So I'm feeling a little like frazzled around that. But I'm going to find something that I'm going to go through books that I did when I was at Mills College, taking book art classes. And I'm just going to sit a little bit with some paper and figure out, okay, if I fold this way and I do this, what can I come up with? And we'll see. So I'm going to keep it simple, but it is going to be a blank book. And I'm going to try to keep a simplistic structure just because it's 6 o'clock on the last day of the month. Bad Kyla. All right, so it's great to be in front of you again here, and I'm excited about today's book. I had to say that just because it's kind of my pattern to say I'm excited about the book, but I really am. Okay, let's go make number 3 for 2014. I'll see you back here on the other side. Bye. Okay, so I am trying a binding, a structure that I've never tried before. And I said it was going to be blank, but I think what I'm going to do is use some recycled pieces of paper. And it's going to be a tiny little book, about that size. And yeah, I'm just going to keep it simple. So I'm going to cut some pieces of paper that are all about this size. I think this is like, let's just measure it. I think it's 3 by, so 7.5 by 3. 7.5 by 3. So I'm going to cut about, let's do 10 pieces of paper. And this is just obviously some scrap paper from me making, yeah, using it to brush paint off of and do things. So recycling the art. All right, so I'm going to do 10 of these, and I'm just going to cut these, and I'll be right back to tell you what is next as I think about what is next while cutting these papers. All right, see you back in a sec. Okay, so I have 10 pieces of paper, and I tried to, keep it simple and not overthink it. But of course my mind is like, oh, these colors are so different. There's no orange in these. But you know what? That's the whole point of a blank book. You can do whatever once it's done. Okay, so I think I'm going to one each of these for my front and back. And so I'm just going to fold these. And these are just pieces that I used in the making of other projects. Pieces that cut off or didn't get used. So I'm just going to fold all of these in half. Okay, so now I just want to see how I'm going to arrange these. So I know this is going to be the front and back. So front, then we'll go this one next. This one next. I'll take this one here. Not bad. So I have the 2 end pieces. Then I have 2 pieces of the sort of waste paper on that side, 2 pieces on that side. Then I have 2 of the orangey color, and then 2 in the middle. So that's a pretty good mix of colors. Alright, so the next step, I need to get some yarn, thread, something. So I'll be back. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have pulled all the different colors of waxed thread that I have. And I'm hoping there's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yay! So I can use 10 different colors. Okay, so I'm going to cut my thread and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just want to show you what I'm doing because I think I'm going to, originally I was going to do the tape, then come back and show you how to put them in, but it actually, I think it's faster and makes more sense to do it, to put the threads in at the same time that I do the tape. So, just gonna demo that. So I realize that because it's closing in on itself, I don't need as much tape as I put in on that first one. Because this is going to close to that, this is going to touch that, and then I just need a piece here. And so the more I work with double-sided tape, I really like it, but I do need to get one of those dispensers because it's, you know, the stopping and cutting and it's kind of nerve-wracking. So I put a little piece in the middle just because, you know, I want that string to stay in place. Then I like to use my bone folder to really make sure it's sticking nicely, and it makes it easier to peel the little backing off when it's already stuck on one side. I don't have to do a lot of work to get it off. Makes it easier. Alright, so I take the tape off, and then so these pages are more flimsy than the sort of cardstock pages, so I think I'm going to add a strip going across just to give it some added weight. I don't even know if that's necessary really, but I'm going to do it anyway, just for this one at least, and see what happens. See if it makes a difference. Alright. Double-sided tape is very, very sticky, which is, you know, great. But it's also very, very sticky. Okay. So once you have the tape, or if you're using glue, the glue on, then you grab your piece of string and just lay it there. And again, I am totally eyeballing this. I am not trying to, you know, get it exactly the same on both sides, just because that seems like a lot of thinking and measuring and work. And I want to keep it simple right now because it's late and I don't want to be up late making a book. Then you just close it down and bone it down. I like to do that on both sides. Alright, and then you have this with the strings hanging out. Alright, so I'm just going to continue in that manner until I have all 10 of these done, and I will be back with you shortly. Alright, we're almost there. So I have my 10 pages. They each have a little string taped into the middle of them, and the pages are folded. the next step is to tie these all together. So I'm just gonna make sure everybody's nice and straight in there. Looks like this one doesn't want to work with me. Okay, and then the goal is, just want to make sure the book isn't too wonky. I'm going to clip these all together, and I'm going to tie. Going to tie them together side by side and then across. I don't know. I'm just going to make up a pattern. I think she has a pattern that she uses in her book. I'm going to be a little willy-nilly random and make my own pattern. And I'm just going to tie. So for instance, these first two, I'm going to tie these together. So this little thing, not cooperating, but I have a remedy for that. Let's see, what is my remedy for that? I'm going to put something on either side of this so it doesn't slide around. Just to give me a little bit of stability. And I'm just going to tie knots. And that is how the book is bound together. So those two will be tied together. And then I think I'll tie these two together. So the first one and the second one are now being tied together. So, I'm sorry, the first one and the second one I tied together. Now I'm tying number 2 and 3 together. And then I'll tie 3 and 4. And I have no idea if that's going to be, you know, doing what I want it to do, but as long as I can get the pages to stay together, I think that is the ultimate goal. Alright, so I'm just going to tie these little strings together to make a binding, I think. And if you could see my face right now, you would know that I am absolutely laughing because I have no idea if this is correct. I should probably try to consult the book, but I'm not gonna. Okay, I'll be back with you after I get these all tied. Okay, book 3 for 2014 is done. It is, let's do a time check. It is, I need to clear my screen. It is 9:22 p.m. Still March 31st. And the book is done. So what? 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 hours or so, give or take. Some stopping and some snacking and some yak in my mouth on the phone and blah blah. Okay, so it's done. It has these nice little threads on the end. I actually really like it. So I'm thinking if I were to do this again, I would use different thread because this wax linen is very stiff because of the waxiness that's you know, makes it wax, wax thread. So yeah, I would probably use something that was not wax, so it would be more fluid, it would be more flowy at the end. That's really my only sort of critique of my work here, is that I would like it to be more flowy on the ends. But otherwise, I like that it lays flat, it opens flat, which if you've been watching the book in a day from 2013, you know that I like books that lay flat like this, that open flat. I like it. I didn't think I was going to like these colors mixed together like this, but I actually really do. And I like having these sort of solid colors to break up the colors that are, you know, with the pages that have all the color on them. So I'm excited about using this book. It's 10 pieces of paper, so that means there are 20 surfaces that I could write on if you take away, you know, don't count the title page or the front of the book and the back of the book. That leaves you 18 spaces to write on, if you wanted to use it like as a journal. So I like it. I like it a lot. I think that's the only other thing I would do. I think I would try to tie these a little tighter. I think I could have tied them tighter than I did, but I think I was also afraid to break the thread because some of these threads are really thin. So yeah, I would use different threads for sure. I really like the multicolor, so I would definitely try to stick to having multiple colors, but it would look beautiful, I think, also with all the same color thread. So you should try this book out. If you do, come on over to the Facebook page, share your photos, let me see what you're making. I would love to see that. All right, so again, thank you for watching. Kiala Givehand signing off. I'll see you next month, a little bit earlier in the month this time, for Book in a Day number 4, 2014. Go out, create something beautiful this month.